Hey, it's me, Steph from Happy Place to Grow, and as you can see, I'm in my classroom. And also, this is my first week of school. Well, it's already Thursday and I've been so busy, I've not been able to check in and let you know how things are going. So I thought I would just take a few minutes and just update you on my first week, and maybe and hopefully some things that I share will help you if you have not started yet. So here we go. Monday was our first day, but not really. So for the first time, I've been teaching 27 years. This is year 28. For the first time ever, our first day of school was actually open house. So we had what we called a soft opening. Monday, we invited parents to come, and the time that we set was from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So I called all my families, invited them to come on over. We didn't really have an assigned time. We just said, come when you can. I'm going to tell you, they came. I had 100% of my families join. That was wonderful. However, they came all day long, so I didn't have a break really, as the customers were constant. But it was a great chance to get to know my students and meet their families, and they got to look around the classroom. But when they left at 6 o'clock, I knew on Tuesday I had to actually teach my students, and I was feeling a little tired, a lot tired, and a little overwhelmed because I had a lot of little things to tweak up. You know how on the first day of school, you want to be ready, and you've got to get those name tags, and you've got to get the cubbies ready, and there's just a lot of little to-dos that you want to make sure that you've got in place for that first day. And then I always like to just kind of reflect, and troubleshoot just in case, things don't go the way that I have planned them on paper. I couldn't do that on Monday evening because I was so tired. So at first I thought it's going to be really cool to have the first day of school be an open house. However, not my favorite open house having to teach the very next day. Because usually when we have open house, the next day is a teacher work day, and you have a little breather before you actually have to teach. So that was Monday. Tuesday, the students came. I got to meet with them, and we were working on, because my goal this year, of course, is, as I've been sharing with you when I vlogged last week about at my teacher work days, about how I really wanted to focus on the first days and the first week of school, knowing that it's really important to organize and structure and plan and make sure that as a teacher what you're going to do. I don't like downtime. I think it creates a lot of problems, and it's always better when the students know what to do, what's expected. So that's been my goal. So the first day was filled with a lot of new routines, and that's exactly what I said to my students. I said to them, we're going to get to know some new routines. So this group this year, they're really sharp and on the ball. They're able to listen, follow directions pretty much the first time they're given. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and even today, I have been able to just roll right through a lot of classroom procedures. That feels really great to me because I know the teacher makes the difference. And when I know what to do and I share with them what I expect, and we get our day organized and ordered, it's consistent, then they're going to fall into that routine. They're going to know what's expected. And that way, learning is going to be accomplished. So far, so good. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, lots of routines. Here's a few things that we've been working on as far as routines. The desk routine. So sitting at your seat is part of school. Knowing what to do when you're at your seat is going to be essential, so that as a teacher, when you're working with students in a small group, if other students are at their seats, they need to know exactly what's expected. So I always establish that desk time, work time. I allow my students to move around as needed. So we will create a routine of bathroom pass. I have a bathroom in my classroom. We haven't created their passes yet, but they do have little passes that they can use. So we've established that when you're working at your seat, you can get up and use the bathroom. So we've worked on that. We've also established that it's important that you work quietly and don't disturb those students around you, those friends around you, because we've got to get our work done. And we've also created this routine for right now. If the teacher is walking around the room and you need help, you can raise your hand. The other routine for our desk that we have worked on, the very first day of school, when they come in and they've got all those school supplies and their book bags are full and they don't really know what's going on, I like to let them create one thing that will help that desk routine, and that is a work folder. And I may have shared this last year. So when they come in, as they're unpacking, and my TA was helping them unpack, get all their supplies out, that takes a little bit of time. So while that's going on, I like them to be working on their work folder. This is going to keep them organized at their desk. So when my students arrived, I showed them that they were going to create a folder. These are just blank pieces of paper, blank canvases, if you please. My TA folded them, got them ready, and all I told them that they had to do for sure was write their name on the front, and then they could design their work folder any way that they would like. So we talked about using pencil first. I told them to look for the smiley. If it was up in the corner and not upside down, then their folder was in the right direction. So they got right to work. This group loves to color and draw. That's good, because I do too. And inside these two pockets, this one doesn't have it on there, but this older one does. I always have them write no and yes, so that when they're working at their seat, if it's time to come to a stop, they can put their work in the no side or the yes side. So this keeps them organized. So the first day, this is what they worked on. Another desk routine that I like to establish is the lovely Tiki Timer. I don't know if you use a Tiki Timer. A lot of you probably use a digital countdown maybe on your smart boards. I love the old-fashioned Tiki Timer. I've established this and we're working on this. They know. I'll say to them, I've set the Tiki Timer. When it rings, that means STOP. We're coming to a stop. If you're not finished, that's okay, because sometimes young children get stressed out about that. You can put your work in the no side. If you are finished, you're going to put it in the yes side. That way, they're not stuffing papers in their desk or trying to hand me papers. It goes in their, I call it their like little desk suitcase. And I let them know, I'll come by and check it after school. This is a good place to put your work. Yes or no. No or yes. This is working out really well with this group. They're just picking up this desk routine super quickly. Now, some first week things that I like to work on are I love to play games, so we've already been playing bingo. The thing I like to establish when I'm playing these kind of games with my students on the first couple of days of school is how to pass materials out, how to keep the materials neat, to respect the materials, not tear them up, not bend them. And I like to show them how to keep their markers and colored chips organized. So we've been playing number bingo, and also along with that, another routine, how to pass materials out to a friend, how to collect materials, how we store our materials. So they've, again, fallen into those routines really, really quickly. So I've been working on just getting those classroom rules established, especially the desk. We've also worked on walking down the hall, and we've also worked on some new cafeteria routines. So last year we spent lunchtime in our classrooms. We had to do that because of all the COVID and the distancing, so we ate in our classrooms. This year I'm also eating in my classroom because some classes are eating in the cafeteria, but we still have to distance. So I have chosen to eat in my classroom. However, we have some new routines that the students didn't do last year. We have to walk down, go into the cafeteria, and go through the lunch line. This is exciting. They get to actually make a choice on lunch. Last year we had one choice. So another important routine that I've worked on is going through the lunch line, speaking to the cafeteria staff, making your choices, telling them what entree that you want, what veggie, what fruit, getting your tray off the top, because last year they walked through, there was a table, all of the food was in a styrofoam closed container. They just grabbed their container, the milk was on top, and they walked out. They never even saw the cafeteria people because it was already prepped for them. So they're learning how to communicate please and thank you, pull things down carefully, put their milk carton on their tray. Then they have to go to another lunch lady at the cash register and check out. So that's a new routine. So some things that I've worked with my kids are just on some cafeteria manners, and we've talked about good choices and bad choices. And this was a little activity I got several years ago, and it just, you read these cards and then they decide good choice, bad choice. Because as they're going through the line now, they have some different things that they're going to encounter, like speaking, saying thank you, holding your tray with two hands, walking. So we reviewed all of those good cafeteria manners, which last year we didn't really go over. We didn't have to. So that was another routine that this group is just experiencing for the first time. So we did cover manners. Today, they were fabulous. They went through the line, they communicated with nice manners and very clearly. They got their trays, they walked and checked out. It was great. So those routines are essential and necessary, and they will work if you're consistent. And something else we did with the cafeteria is they got to create a tray yesterday. We worked on this. They drew their fork, what they wanted to drink, their entree. We talked about the word entree, and then we put a veggie, a fruit, and a dessert on the back. So we've had some fun with cafeteria manners. So establishing those routines. Now next week, I'm going to talk to my students about some more routines. We're going to talk about safety and rules. That's when I'm going to officially introduce the rules of my classroom. I like to just get them in and get to know them. Next week, we'll talk about the classroom behavior expectations, which I already have done that, but not officially. And I will share with you my behavior chart system and the rules. And so that will be a big discussion next week because we'll actually start our behavior expectations and how they will log that information and how parents will be getting that information daily, signing their planner, and then sending it back in. Whew, I tell you, these first days make me really tired, but it's been great to be back in school. We are on a full schedule and we are not masking here at my school. It's optional. So we're crossing our fingers on that. So far, so good. All right. Well, I am going to head out. I've still got to do my running. You know, I love to run every evening. It also clears my head. I will probably check in with you tomorrow. It's Friday. I will probably check in before I check out for my first week of school. But I just wanted to just check in with you and let you know how my first week has went. So far, so good. We are working on lots of routines. As I told you, we're also working on some literacy skills, some writing skills, some math skills. So, I'm off to run. And as always, until our next one, have a good one. Happy Friday! I'm getting ready to head out, but I wanted to check in with you before I left. I have completed, thankfully, my first full week of the 21-22 school year. And so I wanted to just let you know how the week has rolled out. I did get to check in a little bit yesterday, and I shared with you some information about open house and the first couple days of school. So my theme this year for me is to just work on making sure that I establish those expectations and my students know exactly what I need them to do. So I've got my plans laid out each day. And so every day before I've left the building, I've typed out my plans. You know, the first week of school or two, I'm really working on daily because it depends on what we get through. So I have to tweak those plans. As I go further into the school year, I'll be doing weekly plans because we'll already be well established. Remember, the teacher does make the difference. So I'm trying to work on me. If I've got my act together, then learning is going to take place and things are going to go much smoother. So I was able to share a few tips with you on how I have been able to really work on a lot of routines. So today, we closed up our week. It was a very busy day, and every day that we're working through these routines, the students are getting a little bit quicker. They know what is expected on the carpet. And if I pause just for a few seconds and look their way, they know, oh, I need to straighten up or I need to focus on instruction. So they're really falling into those routines really well. So that makes me, I'm leaving this week feeling really good about the direction that we're headed. I did want to share with you, I forgot to tell you about the first day of school. So the first actual day was on Tuesday with the students. And we were going along like a normal first day. And then some bad weather came in. And I had seen on the news that there may be some possible tornadoes or thunderstorms. And so all around the school in the afternoon, teachers on their phones started getting alerts that there was a tornado warning. And so, yes, a tornado warning. We had to bring the students into the hall, into a safe space. And of course, last year we did practice with the students, the only students who didn't know about tornado safety, was the new kinders and new preschoolers. So we got the students in the hall. It was very crowded. They did fabulous. However, I have never, in 28 years or 27, I have never had not fire drill. I have never had a real tornado shelter in place take place. So that was a weird. Now, if that's any indication as to the year, it could be very interesting. So I did want to share with you that, hey, you never know. You do, as a teacher, make your plans, have your script ready, but you also have to be flexible and be able to problem solve and adjust things quickly. That is definitely part of being organized as a teacher. Teachers have to prepare for the unexpected. And then, as you go along in your years of experience, you definitely learn to troubleshoot. So we had to shelter in place. And then when that time was over, I had to go back to my plans and sort of readjust things because we had to stay in the safe place for about 20 minutes. So really weird first day. But we made it. So this evening, Fridays, now a lot of people on Fridays head out as soon as the kids are gone. I don't feel comfortable just heading out. I don't know. It's just the weird creature that I am. But I like to stay and just think through the next week. And I call this spiral my brain. And I just start writing down, just scratching out plans Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I like to organize so that I can go home and type out my lesson plans and think about the week. I also like to go around my classroom and get my materials in order. Next week, I plan on rolling out some official curriculum studies. So we do a phonemic awareness program called Heggerty. So I'll be starting Heggerty on Monday. So I got that book, got those lessons ready. We also do a phonics program called Letterland. So I had to pull out my Letterland materials. I'll be starting lesson 1 on Monday. Again, the key to a successful day begins with the teacher not only planning, but also pulling out those materials and having them ready. That way, there's no downtime and you're going to get the best bang for your buck. So I've got all my Letterland materials ready. Heggerty is phonemic awareness, so it's just looking through the book and making sure I know what my script is. And I also got my social studies ready. I'm going to be talking about the rules of the classroom, so I got everything ready over in my behavior area. And I have a story that I like to read. And then I like to sing that Dr. Jean song, the rules of the classroom. So I went to YouTube and I put a link on my morning meeting slides so that I could just click that and we could sing that. Got all that ready. The thing that was a struggle for me was my math, because we are using Ready Math, but they've changed the whole program and we're having a struggle getting access to our new materials. So I'm not in yet. I've got the directions. I'm going to go home this weekend and get myself in. However, thankfully, I did copy last year lesson 0, which is not in the teacher guide. You have to go to the website and you have to print those materials. It's just a warm up for them. It's a way to introduce them to the lesson layout. So it's always where they say start at lesson 0. So instead of me really prepping for that here, I'm going to take those lessons home because it's getting late and I need to do my running, and then I need to exit on home. So I'm going to take that home. However, I did get my manipulatives prepared. So I've got snap cubes, I've got colored chips, and 10 frame boards, and my number cards. Again, you know, by you as a teacher getting all the materials that you're going to need, and you've got them. I have a shelf over here, a math shelf, and I have everything ready to go. And that way, again, I say, you know, the teacher is the difference, so there's going to be no downtime. I also pulled my calendar, and I have several assessments that I have to do. And so I got my materials organized. And this is a new one for me, the Letterland assessment. So I had to kind of go through that and organize the student materials and my testing materials. I also wrote down dates so that I know exactly my time frame. And again, yesterday, I felt really overwhelmed with all of the to-dos. Today, just a little bit of organization, and I'm getting myself on track. I also made plans for all the activities I need to get done next week. So I'm going to really work on my time being very tight. So the first week of school, your students are trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. I usually go very slow with directions. We practice things multiple times, but by the second week, I want to get really tight on my time. I want to be able to get my phonics lesson, my read alouds, my writing time, my math time. I want to get all of those in their regular time frame so that I can get through my curriculum. Because once you start to fall behind, then it's hard to catch back up. And since we're in a normal year, 5 days a week, I'm going to be expecting myself to be getting through that material quicker. Last year, since we were on an A-B schedule, group 1 came for 2 days and group 2 came for the last 2 days, and we had a remote day. It was hard to get through the materials, and I gave myself a little bit of grace on that. Some things we didn't get to. However, this year, I'm going to hold myself to a standard of getting through my materials and staying on task. This is very helpful. I'm going to use it. All right. Well, I'm going to close up for week 1. Hopefully, as you get started with your new school year, if you've already started, hopefully you are feeling comfortable as you're rolling on into your next weeks of school. If you've not started, remember, the teacher is the difference. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know how things are going to roll out, and make sure the students are feeling secure with those expectations. All right, until our next one, as always, have a good one.